Hello and welcome back. I'm on a bit of a roll here, so I decided to keep going with some of these videos while it was fresh in my mind, and wanted to, since this is sort of like in a few parts about the narcissistic mothers. But before I get going, I just wanted to just say that bear with me as far as some of the thumbnails and changing things up a little. I'm still experimenting with my look, with my kind of brand, and so I'm very new, so I'm just trying to figure stuff out. So it might be seem a bit inconsistent, but I'm just trying to experiment and learn something new. I'm not the most technically proficient person, so this is all quite new for me, and I'm going to try some more editing and things like that. So just wanted to put that out there. So right now it's more about, I guess, the content. This is gonna be a bit of a shorter video because I've already sort of gone over some of these things in a more general way. But this one is really about dealing with narcissistic mothers. So I've spoken about what a narcissistic mother is, some of the traits, some of the types, and now what to do. What if your mother is a narcissist, or what if you've just figured that out? So what I would like to say to that is it really depends. We're going to look at a couple different scenarios. So one is if your mom is no longer with us. So if you have a past where maybe she has passed away, and you're just trying to reconcile, then it's more about processing. So what I would stress is please try to find a good therapist. Particularly it's really important you find someone who understands narcissism and understands the particularly parental narcissistic abuse, because that's something that I think is still very misunderstood by a lot of people. So I think really finding that someone who's trauma informed, who understands attachment styles, all that stuff, but definitely they understand the narcissistic dynamic, I think is key for you to help process that. It's not always easy to find someone, but if you keep looking, I know this is becoming more and more of a prevalent topic and that more people are learning and understanding. So hopefully, and now with remote counseling as well, hopefully it'll be a little more available. So I would stress that a lot. If for some reason you just can't find someone who has that narcissistic piece, and I guess the next best case scenario would be at least someone who's trauma informed and understands relational, childhood, emotional abuse, all those things. But that would kind of be second best. I really, really think having someone who understands the dynamic of narcissistic abuse is key. That being said, it really is about processing and coming to terms with it. And one of the things to understand is that it was never about you. You did nothing wrong. And that this was a person lacking empathy, and somebody who, there's a whole book written called Mothers Who Can't Love, basically was incapable of loving. And so that's something that really needs to be processed and worked through. So my next focus will be on what if she is still around with us in some way. And again, I would say that depends. It really depends on, are you in contact? Are you not in contact? Is there another parent that you still have some relationship with? So these are all things to consider. So everyone's situation is different. If you already are somewhat estranged, in some ways it makes it a little easier, because you could, if you're already kind of no contact or pretty limited, then you could go towards no contact. And again, it depends where they are on the spectrum and how you are feeling about them and how they make you feel. So if somebody just really, this person, every time you're around them, you just feel horrible, you're full of shame, you're full of guilt, it's terrible to be around, it's really draining. Honestly, the gold standard is no contact. So again, that's sort of the best way to deal with it. But if that absolutely is not possible, then limited contact is maybe the next best thing. And then short of that, gray rocking. So the only time I would maybe recommend gray rocking if there's a scenario where they're very close by, maybe they're living with you because they're frail or they're elderly, or you don't really feel like you have a choice. You have to have this person in your life for some reason. Then you really have to have extremely strong boundaries, have a big Teflon coating around yourself, or just like spray, good old repellent, narc repellent, as I call it. Wish there was such a thing and I could market it. So you have to almost create one and really just do the gray rock. And that would also be in the case if there was another parent in the picture who you do still have some relationship with. So that would be trying to figure out how to make that work, and then you'd have to still do gray rock with the mother. And then, of course, yeah, limited contact. So again, I've already talked about those in a little more depth in earlier videos. So if you haven't seen that video yet, or those other videos, then check out my other videos on how to deal with a narcissist with gray rocking, limited contact, no contact, really strong boundaries, all those things, right? And that's really all you can do. And again, I very strongly recommend therapy. So in fact, maybe even more so, if you are dealing with a narcissist who's still in your life in any way as your mom, or is somewhere in the picture, even if they're on the other side of the world, you're still impacted by it, especially if it's something you've just come to realize about that parent. So really important to get some help. Please don't try to do this alone. Get some support. Find a good therapist, someone who's has narcissistic abuse background and understands the dynamic. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. And that's probably going to end my series right now on the narcissistic moms. So stay tuned for more narcissistic parenting with narcissistic dads. And please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please spread the word. Please like this video. All the things. Just takes a few seconds. Just a little, little button, little thumbs up, and click the subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.